have some cooking and some talk. I need you to like, I need you to share, I need you to subscribe, please. What's going on, my people? What's going on? Lee Mims here, Leemimsproductions here. I'm part of the MKW crew on Queen of Trades channel. Mims, King, and Wyatt, and we here work all as one team, one family, one love. All right, so before I go ahead on and tell you what we're going to do today, I just want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe in advance. That way the business is taken care of. Like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead, hit that button. Go ahead, just like it. Hit that little bell. Boom, subscribe. Boom, then you in there, like Flynn there. You know what I'm saying? All right, so if you haven't been paying attention, or this is your first time here, or you're not, or have not followed since the beginning, I'm Lee. I am Queen's husband. I'm among many things, a musician, guitar player, bass. I use keys for production, software, and you might say, oh, you're a producer. I like to just say that I'm a copy off, I believe Timberland said, I'm the sound designer. I don't want to take credit for producer, because sometimes folks get in their head when they hear producer, they equate it with something big, huge. And don't get me wrong, art is already huge, but I'm not the guy walking around in a Rolls Royce. I don't have many businesses, but I consider myself a creator, and of diverse genres of music. I am not, or I do not wish to be put into a tiny box. I love gospel because that's what I grew up on. I love R&B, and above all that, I really love instrumental jazz, because you can just go wherever you want. If you ever listen to a jazz piece and it's no words, I'm not talking about, Sarah Vaughan and folks of that nature. I'm talking just jazz was just music. You can almost make that music be whatever you want. I mean, if it has a somber tone, then you're feeling bluesy. If you have an up-tempo, you're feeling happy. But you can pretty much put your own words in it, and that's why I love instrumental music. So what we're going to talk about today is I have instrumentals for lease. I also have instrumentals just to listen to. So if you go to Tidal, if you go to Apple Music, or anywhere that you're streaming, I'm already there. But if you're on the back end and you're like you're a producer, but you don't put music together, or maybe you're trying to find music for your artists, you can also utilize my instrumentals for lease. And the website is, I'm at BeatStars. So if you're in the movie, you're in the film, I'm on Pond 5, with the prices already up there. So my instrumentals can be utilized for pretty much anything, and there's a price that comes with it, but the artwork can be utilized how you see fit, for very small price leasing. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of music, and so we're going to get into it. The project name is Top Down that we're going to be looking at. I pulled 9 instrumentals off the album. It's actually 10. It's also on Bandcamp if you want to download it over there. So let's go ahead and see what we're talking about. After each section of 3 songs, I'm going to give you my review, and as you watch the video, you'll see I'm actually reviewing it right along with you. If review for you means to listen and say you like it, like it. If it means thumbs down it, you don't like it, it's up for discussion. That's what art is for. So feel free to go ahead and engage down below. See you on the inside. heard the first three. The first one was entitled Building. To me, the horns were the main focus, accompanied by a crisp piano chord to differentiate between sections A and B. The string section gave the framework, and it was cemented by the solid snare and kick drum work. If you see something different, feel free to comment below. Second track entitled Come Get It. I love the cowbell. If anybody remember SNL, Saturday Night Live, it has some pretty good spots. It's not my favorite show, and I think it was hilarious to my type of comedy, but one of the most known episodes was the cowbell. If it wasn't entitled, it was utilize more cowbell, basically add more cowbell. And cowbell, like I said, I'm a musician, so I love the cowbell. I was a percussionist. Cowbells, tambourines, rotos, tom-toms back in the day. You name it, if I can get my hand on it, I'm trying to play it because I love instruments. So I wanted to make sure I use the cowbell to keep that groove moving. The horn section, though, I felt was really more of the framework for that track. I love horn sections, and I love designing them. I mean, it's really crazy because each horn plays one note, and if you put a whole horn section together, you have chords, and you have it's crazy. It's like a whole rhythm section by itself. Without on the guitar, me having to play full chords, I can kind of maneuver single notes and harmonies and chords and put them together, and it's just crazy. It drives the whole song. And to me, you let me know, what did you think that vibe was more of? More like hip hop, soul vibe, or a combination of the two? A lot of times you see things that's labeled urban, and that covers like a vast majority of influences. Finally, fried wontons. The designing of the percussion was designed to be straightforward, meaning I didn't put any fills or anything. A lot of times when you listen to music and you liked it, especially in the 70s, the head nod came from that steady beat, like it's like that, you know what I'm saying? So I try to make sure I incorporate all the influences that I really love throughout my history and maybe history before me. But that steady beat, just like that, that gets that head nodding. It's not all the fills and the tricks and all that, a lot of musicians, sometimes when you're younger, or if you're just immature and you haven't played for a while, you want to throw everything in there plus the kitchen sink. And I've talked to a few guys that play for a living, and they're like, you want that gig, just keep it straight. Ain't nobody trying to hear all those fills now. There's a time and a place for that. But yeah, so let me know what you think of that. Fried wontons reminded me of more of a scene, especially a scene in the movie, especially where the strings are. That was the A section. Let me know what you think. Let's listen to the next three, entitled 1534, Keep It Simple and Top Down.
Thank you.
people, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like what's going on. I really had fun making this album. Of course, I have fun making every album, but this was like, I got to dig in the strings, horns, and piano a little bit. I've always enjoyed strings. No formal training. It's just my creative take. Move, Ice. My creative take on strings. Sit. Now, when I'm not on here, he don't want nothing to do with me. I'll be calling him, trying to get him to come over, get some rubs and treats. Now, y'all see it for yourself. They're just like kids. All right, so the 1534 you listen to, Keep It Simple and Top Down. So here is my review on that. In 1534, which was the first one, there was an A and B section that I made distinct. The A section is very dark in my opinion. The B section is almost the antithesis of the first section, which suggests positivity, lightness, if you will. It's like very light. The sections were divided by a bass drop to make that distinction, so you can clearly see the black and white, comparison there. Clearly, I made that just because that's how I was feeling in the mood. Most times, music by artists or whatever is pretty much set upon or predicated upon the mood that they were in. So it works out great because part of the music being that it's dark and the other part is light, it will be perfect for an artist. Like, say you're trying to sit there and you're talking about the dark days that you were in, and then in the positive part, you talk about how you were able to solve that problem and move on, and how there are brighter days versus the darker days, or sunny days versus the stormy days. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And it's also good for a movie maker, because out of the same track, the movie maker could go ahead and chop the parts and use it however they see fit. Sit, doggy. Sit. Sit. Good job, buddy. This, number 5 was Keep It Simple. I think it was a great name for this track. The bass line, the strings, and the synth, in addition to the horns, are just that. They're very simple, but it keeps the head bopping. And again, I love the horns. I can't say enough about horn sections. The final one you heard out of that section was entitled Top Down, which is the title track for the album. And I love the low strings in this jam, and that's pretty much said on that. I mean, I get really excited how, you saw my head bopping when it came on. It's just, I love the low strings there and the tonality of it. And again, in my notes, I really love this one. The percussion, the tight melody lines, the horns, and the string sections, in addition to the violin. I really enjoyed that. All right, let's check out the final 3. Write down if you agree, disagree, or these are the things that you picked up upon while you were listening. Hope you're still enjoying yourself. Glad you're still with us. The last 3 tracks, That Funk, Round and Round, and It's Time. That Funk was put together with samples on the B section. That part we hear, dum 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 dum. And if you don't understand what I mean by sample, you can either sample material that's already done, or you could purchase royalty-free samples. Is what I did. Royalty-free samples. You spread it across the MIDI keyboard and you play it like an instrument. So it could be, let's just, for instance, so you understand what sampling is. Say you hear the wedding song that everybody knows. Dun 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 dun. You take that whole song and spread it across how many ever keys you have on your keyboard, like 48, 61, or whatever number of keyboards you have, and it will be like dun 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 dun. So you can go dun 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 dun. That's sampling, which was a great debate. Is sampling stealing other people's music? Because you make a whole melody that's new out of it. You wouldn't know that I took that song from the wedding unless I told you. I did it the other day. I took this old jam that Cyndi Lauper did, and I forget the other song that I took, and I played it for people that were born in my time, and they couldn't pick it up till after I told them. And so it's kind of like the argument, is that stealing? I don't know. You put it in the bottom. If you've been around, you know about hip hop era sampling. I mean, sampling has been done since the beginning of time, just not in hip hop. So the next song, what was that? What was I talking about? That Funk. Yes, that's the one I was on. It was padded with low piano, synth strings, and that was done from the Yamaha motif. That keyboard is probably about 16 years old. But if you watch any major concert, you always see that keyboard guy. Not always. A lot of times you'll see one of the keyboards is that motif that I got. I got a great deal for it. One of my producer friends had got the Phantom and Triton, so those are the moguls, and he was looking to unload his motif, and because I didn't have one, I really needed a good synth. I have that one. I would like to I've been looking at the Juno. That joker is expensive too, but I also been looking at some other keyboards, but keyboards are so expensive. That's why people just get samples and drop them to MIDI keyboards and play it. Anywho, let's go on to number 8, which is called Round and Round. That is an upbeat piece of music. It keeps you moving. It's positive. It's happy music. I felt that the organ melody is the centerpiece, and all the other instruments fell into place once the organ was laid. And now its other instruments were horns, synth, strings, and drums. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Actually, I'm not done. I forgot one on the back. It's Time, which is track number 9. It was synth and bass driven, percussion, cowbell, straightforward snare and kick, which means no fills, as I explained to you before in the B section. And in the A section, it was just violins, string section, violins, and the piano set the framework for the whole thing. I thought the mood was positive and upbeat. All right. So if you like this review and you'd like to see more reviews of my music, let me know at the bottom. And if you happen to like this, and I'll put the photo of the album art again after this, feel free to go look it up. It's on Bandcamp. It's called Top Down. It's by Leemim, so you can even put that in the Google search. It's going to be on, you already paid for it. If it's on Tidal, if it's on Apple, any of those streaming networks, Spotify, you name it, is out there. And if you don't feel like supporting in that way, it's probably on my YouTube, and you can listen to it for free. If that's what you want. Of course, my wife would want to shoot me for saying that, but hey, I love making the music. I'm gonna make it regardless, but it would be nice to have support. But if you just want to listen to it until you feel like you want to pay for it, then you may do so. It may be on my YouTube station. If not, you get to listen to this review over and over. Only thing is, you'd have to listen to me chit chat. All right. Hey, see you in the next one.
Hey guys, remember, like, subscribe, share this video with everyone you know. Let them know what Queen of Trades and the MKW crew is doing over here. Till the next time, bye.
I had some mukbangs, I have some vlogs, I have some cooking and some talks. I need you to like, I need you to share, I need you to subscribe, please.